Hey guys, hope you guys doing well. Welcome to your first chapter of learning Tamil. So the first one is gonna be a bit of a long one. I know it's scary, it's the first one, and then right away I give you a big video, but it's for the best. Trust me on this. All the students I had when I did the online classes were scared at first as well, but then they realized how important this first session is. So take your time. If even if you have to break it in 2 or 3 parts, take your time and make sure to have a paper and pen to take notes. And you don't have to struggle like taking straight shots or anything. I'm just gonna put that this slideshow will be available to download on the website, so learningtime.com. At the bottom of the page you have the option to download the slide. So that's about it. So if you have any questions or anything, you can just reply in the comments on the YouTube section, or on the website you can use the contact form to let me know if you have any questions. I will be glad to take my time to reply to all of you guys. So first thing you need to know is in Tamil we have a lot of letters. So for example, if I were to say like in French or English, we know there's 27 letters, right? But in Tamil, we don't have 27. 27 is nothing. In Tamil, we have 247 letters. So 247. Yes, you heard me right. It's 247 letters. Don't be scared. Again, don't be too afraid. 247 letters are actually all the sound available in Tamil. For example, in English, you would learn in one class that the letter P, the letter A, for example. And then the next year, you're going to be learning that P and A makes the sound pa, right? In Tamil, we do that right away. So every letters in Tamil are equivalent to the are associated with one sound, which means that once you know all the sound in Tamil, so all the 247 letters, you would be able to say read all the word in Tamil, because you have all the tool that you need in order to decrypt that word, right? Obviously, of course, there's like few the letters that came later on, or letters where you're going to be struggling, but we can say for sure that 99% of the letters will be in this chart. So that means that once you know all these letters, you will be able to read any word, right? I know I'm repeating myself. I just want to make sure that you realize how easy that is. Once the first part, the biggest part is to learn the alphabet, but once you do that, it's easy. So what I'm going to be telling you guys is how to first how that 247 letters is represented in the Tamil alphabet and the logic behind it, right? Of course, like there's so many letters, it it has to have a logic, right? So that's what we will be learning on this first lesson. Sorry. So let's see. This is how it looks like. Okay, it's a huge chart, tons of colors, tons of letters. Uh, you can trust me on this, but if you want, you can count each boxes. But there are 247. Trust me on that. This is not mine. This picture was taken from the internet. That's why I kept the sources in here. So if in general, if someone asks you what gives like a meaning, a soul, a life to a word, letter wise, so you would say it's the vowels, right? Because the vowels are what gives a sound to a word. Because without the vowels, there would be like just random consonant, and you can't even pronounce it, right? So first thing is when you have the vowels. So in the green section here are all the vowels available in Tamil, right? And as you may have noticed already, there are more than what we have in French or English. There is a reason for that. So first thing is vowels. In Tamil we say uir. Uir means life in Tamil. So உயிரெழுத்துக்கள், உயிர் எழுத்து eliti is letter, elitikal mean letters with an S at the end. So uireltikal are in green. Uireltikal, so vowels. Why vowels? Because they give life, right? Vowels gives life, so uiran Tamil, uireltikal. I'm trying to give you like some memo technique to remember everything I say. So uireltikal, it's the vowels, they give life to the word. So they're the sole base, the stepping stone. I don't know how else I can describe them, but they're the most important part of the alphabet, right? So first thing, you need to learn these. So we have 12 letters here. The bottom of each letter in Tamil, you have an English version. So it's the sound that the letter makes. We'll see for the other letters that sometimes it's not well represented. So that's why it's useful for you guys to take notes and adjust for the way that you think makes more sense, right? A sound can be written away. For me, I think that would be the better way to describe that sound in English, but you may have another vision than me, right? So that's why you have to take notes and adjust according to how your brain works, how you think, how your logic is, right? So when you write Tamil in English letter, we call it Tanglish, right? I mean, it's a common name. They say Tanglish, so it's a mix of Tamil and English, of course. So what Tanglish is not an exact science, so there is no proper way to write in Tanglish. I know that people be like, "Oh, what do you mean? I don't even understand." Yeah, but it's just how you visualize that word or the sound, right? So there's no exact science, and no one is going to be like you can't have like, I don't know, like an exam where they're going to be correcting Tanglish or stuff, so because that's not an actual thing, right? It's just for people that don't write in Tamil. It's an easier way to express themselves in Tamil. So let's look into this. So we have 12 letters. In those 12 letters, you don't have to know by heart like all the 12s, because there's already a logic behind those. So if you look closely here, you see that you have a, and here we have ah. So what that means is that you have a short and a long vowel. Okay, so a, ah, already. So if you know this one, you know there is a long one, right? Same logic in here. So we will have two like this, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 vowels have a short and a long version, right? And then you have 2 outcasts, let's call them. So this letter and this letter. So technically, if you have to learn 7 letters to know the 12 letters, if that makes sense. Okay? Again, I'm repeating myself. I'm going to be repeating myself a lot. It's just for you guys to understand how it works, and trying to get in your brain. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read all the letters at once in one time. So the letters have a name, right? My name is Suban, and there is a sound according to each letter, right? So I'm going to be saying the names of the letter and the sound that it makes. Okay, right. So Arna, A. So first letter starts everything. So Arna, A. Avana, A. Ina, I. Iana, I. Una, U. Uana, U. I'm trying to emphasize the longer version so you guys see that there's actually a big difference. Okay, it's very important because in some words in Tamil, whether you put the short or the long, it can change the meaning of that word. So, na, a. So, for example, for me, it's a. This person wrote ye. So, depending on where you are, you can write that sound the way you want it right? So A-na, A. A-na, A. I-na, I. O-na, O. O-na, O. Au-na, Au. So these are all the 12 letters. So I give you the name of the letter and then the sound that it makes. The sound that it makes is the sound that's going to be on that word that you're going to be reading. The name of the letter is not pronounced when you're reading that word. Okay. So for example, if you say amma, amma is written with this letter at the beginning. You're not going to be saying ana, ana ma, right? It's amma, a, and then the rest of the letters. Okay, so this is for the uirarticle. I'm just going to read it once in one shot. So ana, avanna, ina, iyanna, una, uvanna, ena, ayanna, ayyanna, ona, uvanna, avanna. Okay, so we have 12 letters. Now the vowels are everything, but they're not everything. Of course, we need the consonant in order to make a sound, right? So just with I, you, we can't do anything. We need someone to, to be with them in order to have another sound. So there they are, மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள். மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், they have a little dot on top of that. So we have the letters, and if you have a little dot like you can see here, if you have this dot, it means it's a மெய்யெழுத்து. Okay, மெய்யெழுத்து is just letter P, K, L, S, whatever you want. Okay, so we have 18 letters in the மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள். Again, it's more than what we have, I think, in French or English. There's a reason behind that, because we have sounds that are not available in Tamil. For example, this letter is N, the letter N, like for Natalie or Nadia, but this one is also a letter N, and this one is also a letter N. So for the same English letter, we have different letters in Tamil. We have this with the letter N, we have this with the letter L, we have this also for the letter R. We have two versions of the letter R. So don't worry, don't focus on that for now, okay? So this, all about this is gonna be explained on the lead, like afterward the chapter. I think it was 14, 15, and 16. I think I am trying to, I will explain you the difference, how to know which is which, okay? So மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், little dot on top, we have 18 letters, okay? So like I said, same letters can be different letters for the same English letter. We have sounds that we don't like, we don't have a proper English letter for that. For example, this is ing, right? I'm trying to find, this is inj, so it's not one. If you were to write that in English, you can't write that in one letter, right? Because it's a மெய்யெழுத்து, so it's like a consonant, it doesn't make any sense. Like I can't actually read that to you. I can name them. It's ikanna, inganna, ichanna, but it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to you guys if I just say that. Okay, I'm just gonna read that once, but don't focus on that. I'm gonna explain you why later. So ikanna, inganna, ichanna, injanna, uttanna, unnanna, ittanna, indanna, uppanna, ummanna, ஈனா, இட்டன்னா, இல்லன்னா, இவ்வண்ணா, இல்லன்னா, இல்லன்னா, இட்டன்னா, innanna. Okay, so again, don't be focused on that. The reason why I'm saying that is I can't actually say, I can name the letter, but I can't make the sound, right? So for that, I have another solution. Okay, So before we move on to that, let's revise quickly. உயிரெழுத்துக்கள் 12 letters, 5 short vowels, 5 long vowels, 2 outcasts, the a, ayana, and awana. Okay, and then we have 18 letters over here, which are the consonants. So we have this different letters for the same English letter. We have sound that we don't have on the English alphabet because we have all the sounds in here, right? So like I think you've guessed it already, but I just will describe that anyway. So this yellow section are the kids of a consonant and the vowel. So மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், sorry, and உயிரெழுத்துக்கள். So these two has to join forces and then they will give birth to this person here. Okay, so it's the same thing as I think the multiplication tables and stuff. So this and this is equal to that. Okay, so there's Ukana plus Ana, Kana, right? So that's the same logic in here. The yellow section are the kids from the association of a உயிரெழுத்து and the மெய்யெழுத்து. Okay, so if you, I don't know if there are like anyone that is very good at maths like here, but if you do 12 times 18, it gives you 216. So 216 is the yellow, so that makes sense so far. So how did the Tamil people name this category of letter? They didn't go too far. So உயிரெழுத்துக்கள், மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், உயிர்மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள். So this is a parent, this is a parent. உயிரெழுத்து, மெய்யெழுத்து, உயிர்மெய். So உயிர்மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள். So it's the junction, the fusion of உயிரெழுத்துக்கள் and மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள். Okay? So 216. If you do the math, you have 12 plus 18 plus 216, 246 plus 1. This little guy here, Agenam Uk, that you guys may have already know because there was a movie. There was a Tamil channel with this logo. This is a letter that, to be honest, even like I haven't actually seen it, but it's used like for English letters and stuff. Like you can actually do the sound like that. I mean, I can't. So yeah, that's one. That's like an exception, I think we say. So it's like it's really a lonely guy over there, right? So he's here. Are you there? Great. So now we know that these are the kids, right? So in order to read that whole chart, you need to understand that this is a family of letter, right? This section is the Ikkana family. Same thing here, Ingana family, Ichana family, Injana, Uttana, Unnana, and so on. Okay, so this is how you should be reading this, not this way. We don't say the Ana family because the Ana is just a vowel, but this is the person that this is the family. This is how it should be looked at. Okay, so Ukkanna. So what happens here? So you do Ukkanna and then you associate it with Ana, Ukkanna and Ana, and that gives a new letter, and that fusion gives you a new letter, which is Kana, Ka. Okay, so again, if in here, okay, I will get back to that later on, don't worry. So Kana, okay, so following that logic, if this wasn't written, you would know that Ukkanna and A would be Ka, right? See, I know you answered it. I know I can't hear you, but I'm pretty sure you said that. Okay, so Ukkanna and A, it's Ka. Same thing here, Ukkanna and E, Ki. Ukkanna and E, Ki. Okay, so that's the same logic here. So Ki, Ku, Ku, Ke, Ke, Kai, Ko, Ko. Ko, cow. Okay, so again, this Tanglish version you can read the way you want to, but just make sure that you understand what you mean, right? What sound you should be making. Okay, so ikana and ana ka, ikana and avana ka, and so on. Same thing here, ingana and nga. So this is very hard to pronounce, but it's very rare to see that in a word, right? You still need to learn because it's a class, right? So inganna, nga, nga, gi, gi. So that's why it's written GNA. I would go with NGA, nga. I think that would be the right way. Like again, it's your interpretation is the way you want to. Okay. Also, when it's written here, the Tanglish version, sometimes it can be mistake. It can lead to mistakes. Why? For example, is in this family, the Ichana family, the first letter Ich and R in Tanglish is written Cha. It's not Cha. It's Sa. S-A. Sa. So this letter would be Sa. So why has he done CHA, he or she? I think it's a he by name, but yeah, it's a he. So it's SA, but he wrote CHA because he went on the logic that it's doubled. Okay, so if it's Ichana and this letter next to each other in a word, that would be CHA, right? For example, an easy one is if you have this letter and this letter next to each other, it's chai, chai, right? It's not, if this letter is not here, it would be sai, sai, chai. That makes sense? Why is choose chai is because you know how we say green in Tamil maybe? It's pachai, pachai. So pa, it, say, pachai. So in that scenario, the CHAI would be the right way to spell that in Tanglish, right? So for now, when you're only studying the letters, make sure to don't use this. I think it can be confusing for you guys when you start. So make sure you do SA, for example, for this scenario. Sa. Ichana and Avarna, Sa. Ichana and Ina, Si. Okay, so you have the same scenario all over. The vowel will be back in here, so it's joined those two, get get the forces together, they merge, however you want to put it, but they go together and then give those letters, and those letters take the vowel. So that's why the vowel are so important, because they are all over here. Okay, so you have a kana, so it's kana, kavarna, kina, kiana. For example, if I go here, pana, pavarna, pina, piana, and the sound is pa, pa, pi, pi. For example, this is me, me, lai, lo, lau. You see what I mean? So, in order to make sure that you guys know how to pronounce those consonants, I'm just gonna go and read all these, because now it's not mayaltical, so they actually have a sound. So it's easier for me to give you the pronunciation of that letters. Okay, so I'm going to read that whole column, and you're going to be taking notes of the Tanglish on the how to pronounce that word. Okay, so that's the best choice for you guys. I think that's the best way to go, and then from that you can detect easily the rest of the sounds, because you know how to make those, right? You know how the vowels are pronounced. A, a, I, u, U, E, E, I, O, O, Ow. See, I even revise quickly. So that's the sound that's going to be everywhere. So I'm going to give you the pronunciation of the consonant using the first bone of the ana varisai. Varisai means the line, okay? The line category. in that scenario, category line. So, ready? Kana, ka, ungan, ngana, nga, sana, sa, nyana, nya, dana, da, like that is. Nana, na, tana, ta, nana, na, pana, pa, mana, ma, yana, ya, dana, ra, lana, la, vana, va, lana, la, lana, la. I know it sounds the same, but don't worry. For now, just revise, make sure you know the letters, and then we'll see how to differentiate each other. Rana, ra, nana, na. Yeah, the reason I don't want you guys to get confused, I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen your face, but I'm pretty sure when you saw those 247 letters, you may almost had a heart attack, I know. So I'm not going to be confusing you guys more with these. After this first chapter, you will be learning new other categories of words, and from those words, you will be like get familiar with the Tamil letters and stuff. And then after that, I will teach you the difference when, why, which you should use and stuff. Okay, so this is the உயிர்மெய் எழுத்துக்கள், and this is the first column, so that way you know how to pronounce the consonant, right? Because it's associated with one vowel, which is the short A. Okay, so far, are you guys still following? Are you guys good? Because I know that when I was doing that with my students on Skype, they were like, oh, it's almost done. But don't worry, I'm going to give you more tricks for you. Okay, so how to recognize the parents of one letter? Easy. First, the consonant you should know. You should know because you know the letters now. I mean, you know the letter. You revise the மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், so you know that this letter is a pa. I mean a p. This one is a m, right? So you would know by then that this is the consonant that goes with it. Now you need to know what is the vowel. So what gives me the indication that who the parent is, like, you know, one of the parents, because it looks like the parent, right? All these letters look like this parent, right? So these are exactly the same thing, right? The base of it is the same as the consonant. So now the only thing you have to do is you use your Sherlock Holmes skills to find which one is the vowel. So easy for you on this one, easy Sherlock job. You just remove the dot and there it is. You have the first section of Anna, right? So if you have a random letter and it's just the மெய்யெழுத்து without the dot, you should straight away think, know, and point that this is an Anna. It's the parent is Anna, short A, right? So this is na, this is pa, and so on. Okay. For the avanna, for the long R, what is the common thing that you see here? There's that little bridge added on the right hand side. So again, you take that base, the consonant, and then you remove the dot, and you obviously the dot are nowhere to be seen in உயிர்மெய் எழுத்துக்கள் because the dot are only on the consonant. So you have that little bridge on the right hand side, so that gives you the long R, right? For E, the example I used for my students is someone goes on the top of that swimming pool ladder and then jumps. Here, he's on top, he jumps. He's on top, he jumps. On top, jumps, jump, jump, jump. See? Goes on top and then jump. That should be a small trick for you guys to try to remember this. So up, he jumps, in the swimming pool, obviously. So this is E, short E. For the long E, it's like he wants to go and jump, and then he got scared and he swelled back in. So that's the indication for you, the indicator to know that this is the long E. See, like this is the same logic behind all of this. Okay, so now if you know those 4 small tricks, you can recognize any vowel. Like, so that in 4 times 18 letters, you need to understand 4 things. That no dots is first is Ana, a bridge on the right hand side is Avarna, a guy that goes on top of the ladder and jumps in the swimming pool is E, and then the guy that goes on top and then doesn't jump is Ienna. See, that's it, right? So your first step is learning the vowels and then the consonants, and then those small indicators tricks. Okay, so this column I'm gonna jump ahead, I'm gonna come back to that. For the letter A, now, the sound A, you just add this thing on the left hand side, and you see there's only one swirl at the top, the bottom. So it's short A. In Tamil we say otte kombu. Otte is one, kombu is horn. So this is one horn. Okay, so otte kombu. See, for short. So for long, we do 2 horns. Irate kombu. So technically, if you tilt the letters, that left hand, the thing on the left hand side, you see that it looks like horns, right? So that means it's a longer version of that sound. So you have one horn, otte kombu, one swirl, one round thingy is short, and when you have 2, it's long. Okay. And for ayen now, for the sound I, you have this thing that is added on the left hand side. So that's swirl thingy. So it's 1, 2, and then if you have to be careful in here. So this is round in here. Okay, you need to make sure why I'm saying is because this letter, the letter N, they look alike, but this is actually a T at the end, right? It's like very formed. It's a T, and then this one is slow. It's like a inverted C, right? So make sure that you remember this in order to not get confused. Okay, and then in this is like a combination of different indicators we've seen already. So we have the oche combo from the ENA in here, and then the little bridge on the right hand side that we have for Avarna. Okay, so we have one thing on the left, one thing on the right, and those 2 combine makes the sound, makes the vowel O, right? So again, that whole column, left hand side one horn, right hand side one bridge. Okay, and same thing here for the O, and now it's the longest version of that sound. So we have the 2 horns, irate kombu, and the bridge is still here, right? So one horn bridge is O, 2 horns bridge is O, just a bridge on the right hand side is R, just a horn on the left hand side, one horn is A, 2 horns if it's if it's A, it's 2 horns on the left hand side. Do you see the logic, right? I mean, you can see it. I'm pretty sure you can see it. Awana, so we have one horn on the left hand side, and then this little thingy. So in here, this actually look like this letter. So it's like you're gonna be writing this letter twice almost, right? If I zoom too much, I don't think it gets blurry for you. But I think you can see that probably on your slide, the slide that you've downloaded or you're gonna be downloading. Okay. So this thing here is here as well. And so this is for the sound ow, right? Personally, ow, I would have written OW, so cow, ngao, sow. Again, your interpretation, I trust you will choose the right one that you understand, right? So we have those, so we have 12 columns, and I said we're going to be ignoring these 2, so that means 10 columns. In those 10 columns, you need to know those 10 tricks. No dot, bridge on the left, right. Guys to go on top and jump in the swimming pool. Guys got to go on top and then doesn't jump in the swimming pool. One horn on the left hand side, two horns on the left hand side. That swirly thingy on the left hand side. One horn, one bridge. Two horns, one bridge. One horn, and that letter on the left, right hand side. I don't have I don't have a nickname for that one. So this is it. So if you know those 10 tricks, you know that 10 times 18 letters. So the reason why I'm telling you this is when I said 247, you must have thought, oh God, I have to learn 247 letters. No, you don't. You have to learn 12 letters, 18 letters, and then 10 shortcuts, 10 indicators, right? So 10, 18 is 30, 30 plus 10 is 40. So you have to learn 40 things to master 247 letters. I think that's a good win, right? Because if you're here, it's because you want to learn your mother tongue or discover a new tongue for those that are not Tamil, and this is it. So learning a new language is not easy. So obviously they're gonna be challenges, but I just announced to you that the challenge is a bit easier because you don't have to learn 247 letters. You need to learn 40 stuff. Okay, I know I cheated a bit because we haven't looked at this column yet. So this column is still the same logic, but has is I wanted to say trickiness, but I'm not sure if that's a real word, so I'm just going to leave you find the word for that. So this letter changes a bit the basic letter. So in here, if you look at that letter, it's here, but then instead of stopping, you just go all the way and then swell back. In here, you can't even make that letter. Okay, so these two columns needs your particular attention. So this is going to be taking you a bit of more time to learn that oo and oo. But if you look at it closely, they still have the same pattern. They don't all of them have the same pattern like the others, but they have a redundant patterns. If you look at these two letters, they have the same thing. So it goes down and then it's like, I don't know how to describe that in English, I'm sorry, but you just do that loopy thingy and then come back, right? Loopy thingy and come back. In here, loopy thingy bridge, and careful you don't remove the pen, it's still linked together. It's not separated like these letters, because if you separate it, it will look like this. Okay, so same thing. So this logic is used, for example, in here, in here, in here, in here. See, so it's not easy, but it's not too difficult either, right? There's still a bit of logic. So this technique is used in here as well, in here. See, so I know I'm lying to you sometimes, but not really lying. This column is gonna be a bit tricky, but you would know the others are pretty easy to understand. Okay, so of course this is not a one-time thing. You're like, you can't just learn that in one shot, right? This is going to be taking time. You're going to have to take time to write the letters, to learn the letters, to recognize the letters, but that's a process, right? You're here to learn a language and you have to do the effort. I can't it's not like I'm just gonna upload I don't know, a pen drive to your brain directly and then that's it, you know Tamil, right? That's not how it works. So you're going to be taking some time, and um, I'm giving you all the tricks I can to for you guys to remember those things easily. Okay, so let's revise quickly. Uirelthukal, vowels, 12 letters. Meyelthukal with a dot on top, 18 letters. 216 kids result of a merge between a Uir and Meyelthi. Uir Meyelthukal, 216 letters. Okay, we have the indicators that we need to learn. Once you know the indicators with once you know the ويرتكل ميلتكل and the indicators, you would be able to recognize any letter, right? Let me show you why it's very important to know this, like to do this first step. So amma means mom, a, ma. So that if that word was written in front of you and you had this chart, you would be able to pronounce that word. A, ma. See? A, pa. I know you guys are smiling because it's amazing. I know. It's crazy, right? So if you know the letters, you know all the sound that is available, and then all it takes is more practice. That's why we have like 10 more chapters of different categories of words for you guys to use the words that you daily use, and then learn how it's pronounced, how it's written, and that way you get familiar with it. This process works because my students that have done that classes with me during the first lockdown, they are able to read a big chunk of text now. It's not fluent like I would read, but still they are on the process. They know how to recognize a letter. They can read a word, even a word they've never seen in their life, like scientific words. They are able to read those, right? And this is where I want you guys to be at the end of these sessions. Okay. The good thing is you have quizzes to help you revise. So this thing is on the quiz. If you click on the bottom right of the website, I think it's right. Yeah, it is. It should be right hand side. So you have a quiz where you can play with your friends. So you put that on the screen, and then you answer the questions on your phone, and then you can see who's right, who's wrong. There's a little ranking and all. It's very fun to use. So it's a very well done website. So I think that can be challenging for you guys. It would be fun for you guys to use. um, so I think that's pretty much it. Oh, also, one thing you need to know about the Mayaltikal, they are very odd to read alone, but they will be on words. They can be used normally, like any letters, like in order to make like a quick pause in that word, for example. But they're also used to double the sound that comes next to it. Like I said, for pachai, if you remove this letter, it would be pasay. Pasay, pachai. Can you hear me emphasizing the doubling? So that's something you need to keep in mind when we'll see the next thing, like the rest of the things. Like for amma is the same thing. If you remove the mayalti, it would be amma, 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 uh, appa, abba. I think when I do the like make the obvious things, you can see how important it is, right? So if it's next to a letter that is from the same family, you're doubling the letter, like the sound that comes next. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. So again, if this is the slide that's going to be available, this thing is also added on the chart on the slide that is available for you guys to download. You have the vowels in here separated. You have those 12 vowels, the 18 consonants, and then there's a short uh, maths resume for you. So 12 letters, uyraltical vowels, 18 mayaltical consonant, 30 mudaltical. What is mudaltical? Mudal means first. So first like the first. So they're the basis of everything. They are the origin, right? If you look at the origin of those uyrmayaltical is the mudaltical, and mudaltical are the uyralte and then the mayalti. 12 plus 18, 30. So this is 12 times 18, 216, plus 30, 246, and then that outcast word letter agdeolite, those three dots you seen earlier. So 247 Tamil letters, right? That's it, guys. You know how the Tamil alphabet works, the tricks, and you know all the tricks now. I give you all the tools. Now all it takes is time from you guys to practice and learn, revise of it whenever you get the time. You can use the Kahoot, the quiz for practice. On the quiz, you can shuffle the questions, maybe you can do a lot of things for you guys in order to practice. So that's about it. I hope that wasn't too much for you guys, and you learned something. Like I said, this is the biggest part of that your learning. Once you've mastered this, everything else is just easy for you guys. Okay, keep up the good work, guys. Good luck with that, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you. See ya.